The door slammed shut, the lock clicked, and I just stood there in the cold, staring at the grain of the wood. The useless key shook in my hand, heavy like it knew the truth before I did. Their words still echoed in my head, sharp and final. You are not part of this family anymore. I didn't knock. I didn't beg. I walked away quietly, careful, like I was carrying something that could explode at any second. There was a time I honestly believed they loved me. As a kid, I fought for their attention, always stuck in the shadow of my sister's spotlight. Straight A's didn't matter if Emma smiled. A big promotion at work didn't matter if Emma bought a new dress. I kept convincing myself that if I just worked harder, longer, louder, they'd finally notice me. But their love always had rules, strings attached, conditions I never agreed to. So when they shut the door in my face, I realized it wasn't rejection. It was the truth, laid bare. That truth had been leaking through for years. The way they'd introduce me as our son, the stubborn one. The way every family gathering turned into Emma's show while I played the side role. But that night, when they finally cut me off, it was sharp, deliberate, surgical, like a judge delivering a sentence. Don't come back. And then, barely a week later, an email showed up in my inbox. Subject line, urgent, call immediately. It was from their lawyer. For the first time in my life, they needed me. I didn't panic, didn't rush to save them. I poured myself a coffee, sat by the window, and read it again slowly. It was about the house, their crown jewel, the estate they couldn't afford to lose. Turns out the deed wasn't complete. Years ago, my father had shoved some paperwork at me when he was too busy showing off. He hadn't noticed whose name was still on those papers, mine. They thought shutting me out of their lives meant shutting me out of every Tathan. Hing. They forgot about the strings I still held. I called their lawyer, steady and calm. I confirmed the issue, listened as the panic cracked in his voice, then told him I'd be in touch. No storming to their house, no shouting, no gloating. Instead, I hired my own lawyer, quietly, efficiently. We combed through the deed, the mortgage, the taxes. Bit by bit, we built an iron wall around my position, every loophole sealed, every exit blocked. For the first time ever, I wasn't their scapegoat, I was the gatekeeper. The next family meeting didn't happen at their house. It happened at the lawyer's office. They showed up first, looking smug, like they had rehearsed their lines. Emma rolled her eyes the second she saw me, like I had come crawling back, desperate for scraps. Dad leaned forward, his voice dripping with fake patience. Let's just get this resolved. Sign the papers, give the house back, and maybe we'll reconsider. I cut him off, calm and cold. You told me I wasn't part of this family. The room froze. I slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents that left no room for argument. I wasn't just on the deed, I was the majority owner. Without my signature, they owned nothing. My mother's face went pale. Emma opened her mouth like she was about to argue, but nothing came out. One by one, it sank in. By throwing me out, they had handed me the weapon. My father tried to bark, to threaten, but his voice cracked under the weight of his own collapse. His kingdom was already in ashes, and he knew it. I leaned back, steady and unshaken. I don't need your approval. I don't need your love. But I do own the walls you live in. And from now on, you answer to me. They sat frozen, trapped in the corner their arrogance built. For once, silence belonged to me. I didn't evict them. That would have been too easy, too merciful. Instead, I let them stay. But everything had changed. Every tax bill, every repair, every choice about that house now had to go through me. They couldn't erase me anymore. I became the shadow they couldn't outrun, stamped on every envelope from the bank. My name, not theirs. And the best part? I never yelled, never begged, never broke. They thought locking the door erased me, but all it did was set me free. Now every time they walk through their own halls, they're reminded whose name holds the ground under their feet. I don't knock on that door anymore. I own it. And silence, backed by power, speaks louder than anything they could ever say.